I haven't done a beta, guys, in 5 years for virtual assistants. Okay. The last beta that I did was 5 years ago now. And we took about, I think, 40 tasks and we started virtual assistants doing those tasks for people across the country. And the main one that stuck out was the appointment setting task. And what we did in the beta, which was really cool, is we got to know exactly what people wanted. Okay. So I went into it thinking, okay, people just want to set appointments with realtors. But what I learned from the beta was it wasn't just about setting appointments, it's about setting appointments and doing research on the realtors as well. And we've seen just from that task alone, some people grow some gigantic businesses. So I think this is the next evolution of where I want to take the company, and I want to do a beta out of it. And I want us all to get a lot from it and really, grow our businesses and kind of blow them up. So my goal from this webinar is I want to help branch managers, loan officers, whatever, understand that your job in what we do when it comes to creating content is just that, creating content. We don't have time to post, on different social medias. We don't have time to edit. That's not something we should be doing. We should be focused on putting the content together, building the content, and then handing it off to someone that can go post it, keyword it, tag it, make it beautiful, and then even engage on it. And that's what I'm going to teach you guys today, is this paradigm shift that you don't have to post your own stuff. You just have to create it. Before we go any further, I want to show you something that I've been working on, and I'm going to give all of you this that start doing the beta and everything. And it's this SOP, or a standard operating procedure, that I'm working on with content. And if you guys think about it, there's only a certain amount of content that we need to understand how to create. And that is short video, long video, text questions, long text, which would be email or blog posts or something like that, images, polls, courses or modules of courses that you're going to teach somebody to do, interviews, and podcasts. And that's it. Like, if you master those and you start creating those on a daily basis, a weekly basis, whatever, and then you hand that off to a virtual company, they can post that on all these different places. So I started thinking about this. Okay, in a perfect world, if I didn't have to do anything but create the content, what would my SOP look like, right? So here's a good example of that. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create some kind of a short video, right? So create some kind of a short video. That video gives value to whatever person that I'm targeting, whether it be a realtor, a client, etc. I'm going to create a short video. I'm not going to get in my head when I do it. I'm just going to create it, right? I'm just going to speak from the heart and create that video. Then I'm going to research and find out, I'm going to research some ideas and stuff at the same time and create the script. And then I'm going to make sure that that video is the way I want it. Okay. So that's it. Like, that's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. Now, it could also be that I'm going to find something online, a short video that I like, and I'm just going to flat out copy it. Okay. So when I started thinking this way, I started realizing, okay, that's all we have to do, right? Is build content and pass it off to be posted. And I'll tell you a story about me doing this. And I paid, good Lord, I think I was paying $1,500 a month to a social media manager to post and all this stuff for me. And I learned something very, very important from this. And I think I spent like $7 grand, ended up getting like 2 deals or 3 deals off of it. So I broke even, but barely. But the biggest thing that I learned was they don't do the content for you, right? Like, even my wife is spending $16,000 with this place now, and they're flying in and they're going to sit down with her for 2 days. But guess what? They don't do the content for you. You have to still do the content. So regardless of like who's posting it or whatever, you still have to focus on doing the content on a daily basis. Okay. So when I did this, I paid this $1,500 to this person. And I started building some content, giving it to her, and she started posting it, right? And she would put it, and this was only 3 platforms that they would do for me. That was it. They would do Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, and that was it. And this was $1,500 a month. And I realized when I started doing this, I was like, there's got to be a better way, because there's 11 platforms we can post to. And as long as we shoot the content, we can get it out with virtual assistants for very inexpensively. So let me tell you my original story. In 2012, I was closing 3 loans a month, very little. I wanted more business. I had anxiety like crazy, okay? I didn't have a processor. I was processing all my own files. I didn't even know what virtual assistants was back then. Somebody invited me to Vegas to kind of a top producers thing where they get up on stage and they all tell what they're doing right now that works really well. Back then I couldn't even afford a hotel. Like I was barely getting by because of the, because of the expenses and the loans and everything. But I remember I was sitting at this conference in Vegas and I just started writing things down on this pad of paper. Like everybody would come up and I would write down. And then the biggest thing that I wrote down on this one page was the word leverage. And I really realized that, like, if I was going to move forward, if I was going to go to 15 loans a month, if I was going to build that $1 million that I wanted to build a year, I had to have that leverage in order to do it. So I just started like praying, how the hell am I going to get this leverage? Where's it going to come from? Right. And then 3 months later, I was approached to open this virtual assistant company by a guy that had already been in the business for, say, 15 years. And it was like kismet. He said, he came to me with his virtual assistant company, and I desperately needed this company. And I taught the virtuals over time, a lot of these different tasks. And I started to do more business with putting in less work. So the unintended consequence of using virtual assistants was my business started to grow. Even though I was growing this virtual assistant business, my business started to grow leaps and bounds as well. Then I started teaching agents all these ideas and these processes also, and they started to take them over and send me tons of business as well. And then I just learned new systems flying across the country. I was in Denver 2 weeks ago and learned all about Google My Business and Google and stuff like that. And I'm just constantly doing this and teaching virtuals to do it at the same time when I do. And then I got to 15 loans a month, right? I hit that plateau of where I want. Then the mortgage crash came, right? Or not the mortgage crash, but like the rates changing in July came, and I had to figure all that out and realize that what we were doing was absolutely right, but we needed to do more of it. We needed to reach out to more realtors. We needed to reach out to more people to build this business, and we just increased it. And now I'm back to 11 from where I went down to 2 in July because my mindset wasn't right. And I used virtuals to do a lot of that, okay? So now down the road, closer to my family, things are better, working. It's just way easier using virtual assistants to do this stuff. So how does this stuff apply to you? Well, guys, you saw MBS rate yesterday. Good Lord, like the rates went up dramatically. The way we used to do business isn't going to be the same. We have to focus on more incoming applications. That's the only way to make it through this. I was talking to somebody the other day and they were like, Heath, I haven't done an application in like 3 days. And I was like, oh my God, right? Like that's not good. If you haven't done an application in 3 days, that's not good. You've got to change the way you're doing things. So this is going to teach you guys how to get content out there. And I think that just puts us at a different level than everybody else. Because I fully believe right now that with less deals on the table, you're going to have to personally take a deal from someone else to get a deal. I know that sounds ruthless, but that's what's really going on, right? So if you have a certain amount of deals and there's only a certain amount of loan officers, you're going to have to take that from another loan officer in order to get that deal. I'll give you a good example of this. I had a LendingTree lead come in about a month ago, and the realtor had already grabbed them and given them to their loan officer for the Outback gift card or whatever the hell they're getting, right? And I called the client and I realized that there was margin in that house where we could increase that price of that house about $10,000, $20,000, and we could build in this gigantic buy down. And if you looked at it on MBS or Mortgage Coach, you could see that the payment would be lower over time. It was a no-brainer, but you had to think about it this way, and that loan officer didn't. So I pitched it that way. I did a spreadsheet, I did a video, a Loom video, and I put it all together and I sent it to that person, and I won the deal because I just thought differently and doing it that way. That's how we're going to have to think going forward, is we're going to have to beat our competition to get more deals. Now, remember, when I first got in the business, it was like this. It was very competitive in, say, 2002, 2001. We had to beat out other people, right? It wasn't like we were just working with our agent. We were beating out other people to get deals, and that's how it's going to be again. So margins are compressing, things are changing. What I'm going to teach you guys is how to have, I'm going to mute everybody, okay? And I'll unmute you in a minute. I'm going to teach you guys how to have highly trained virtual assistants do content for you, well, post content for you, edit it, make it beautiful, etc. How to create some engaging content that creates your brand, and how to have virtual assistants grow that presence online for you, all done for you, where all you do is sit back and create the content, okay? Okay, so the first thing is, and I want to zip through this a little bit to kind of go through this. I'm not going to go through case studies. I want to just get into the meat of this stuff with you. And the main thing is, and this is what I discovered, okay, that you can teach a virtual assistant anything you want them to do. All you have to do is screen video that task and then let them create the task. Then you want to go over the results with that task and you want to grade them on it. So that's what I would do. And that's what I still do to this day. Here's how to do it. I want you to go do it for me. I want you to send me back the results, and I want to grade it, tell you what you're doing right or what you're doing wrong. And then that task is implemented forever. Okay. So for instance, you guys have seen the latest trend on TikTok and these things where we have these beautiful captions that come up. Here, I'm going to pick on some people. Hold on. If you guys have seen that, put that in the chat right now. Let me know if you've seen that. On TikTok, you see these captions pop up in front of people when they're putting videos up. Let me know in the chat if you guys have seen that, okay? Yeah, okay. So I wanted to learn how to do this because it's really what's making things catch people's attention, right? So it's catching people's attention because it's diverting your eye to that video and you're reading it really. Like it's almost like you don't even see what's going on in the background. Your eye is going straight to those captions, okay? But Joe, this is also working on Instagram. We're seeing it even on Facebook ads now and Instagram ads now, where people are using this idea. Where did this come from? This came from how people are on social media all the time. They're at work. They're freaking mindlessly scrolling. They can't listen to things, so they're reading those captions, right? Well, think about Netflix now. How many of you guys are watching Netflix and watching captions on Netflix? Let me know in the chat. Yeah. Do you even really watch what's going on behind the captions? Like, it's funny. I kind of feel like subconsciously, am I watching what's really going on the program? Like, we'll watch Seinfeld because I hate a lot of the stuff that's on right now. So I go back and watch old Seinfeld episodes, and I find myself just watching those captions constantly. Like, okay, I'm watching those captions. My peripheral vision is watching the show, but I'm watching the captions. So I had to figure out how to teach the virtuals these captions to the level that they could make these things for you just like that, right? So we went out, bought them all the best software training programs, all the best systems, and we taught them. And the first ones they sent over were freaking terrible. Okay, they were horrible. And I said, okay, this is a good start, but it's not what I want. I want you to go back and redo it again. We did that 7 times, guys. And the latest one that they sent me back looks almost identical to what you're seeing on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. And that's an idea of how you get these virtuals to build these things for you. is you've got to go out there and teach them. And that's what I'm here for, to teach these virtuals so you guys don't have to, okay? So the next thing we're going to go over is how to create that content that builds your brand on a consistent basis. So the first thing that you've got to learn how to do is short videos, okay? So short videos are just recorded with a talking head. Next time you guys are online or on TikTok or whatever, realize that it's not just dance videos anymore. It's like people throwing content out that's short but impactful. There's a hook on the front of it, right? There's a story, and there's usually some kind of a follow me for more type situation, which is technically an offer because you're trying to get people to consume more of your content, right? So think about this. What do we have to do? All we have to do is record the simple talking head video. Could be with your phone, could be with your webcam, it could be with a nice camera. It doesn't really matter. You just record the content and then give it to us and we make it beautiful. So you got to make sure that these short videos, there's a little bit of time put into them. You can go on TikTok and Instagram and all these things and find these different ways that people are doing it and just literally copy them and then record the video. And it's really good way to get engagement. So let's say you do that, you record one video, you give it to us. Now we can put it on all the different short video platforms. We can add hashtags to it. We can add a good description on it for you. We could do all this for you, and all you did was take a few minutes to shoot the video. Now, who all is shooting short video right now? Short video, I would say anything under 2 minutes. That's short video. Who? Let me know in the chat who's shooting short video right now. No one? Okay. What's holding you back? And be honest, okay? Be completely honest. What's holding you back from shooting short video? What's holding you back? Just be completely honest, okay? What's holding you back? Let me know. Okay. Who else? Joe? I don't like how I look. Okay, that's okay. Listen, Diana, look at me. This is how we look on video, right? When you're talking to me on the phone, when you're talking to a client, I bet your tonality is spot on, isn't it? It's probably perfect. It's the same if you're on a video. It's no different. Yeah. So your tonality over how many years? How long have you been doing this? Right. So your tonality in 14 years is probably almost perfect, okay? Your tonality, if you don't change the way you act or anything, your tonality on a video will be exactly the same. I bet we could pull you up on this Zoom right now and you would talk exactly the same as you do in real life. That's who you are. Don't be afraid to be your real self online. I learned that from Amplify, guys. Amplify is such an amazing process because it really teaches you that this is who we are. This is who we are. We're here to give, and we can't give if we kind of be fake and aren't who we are. Okay, so if that's what's holding you back, that's dumb. Just shoot video. Don't worry about what you look like. Just shoot video and shoot lots of it, and let us take it and put it out to the world. Okay, all right. So short video is really, really important that if you get an idea, shoot a short video. I was in Denver for the Mile High Mastermind, and Lindsay said something that just blew me away. She's doing a lot of TikToks, and they were like, "Are you doing like scripts and stuff for those TikToks?" And Lindsay said, "Nope, I just go on camera and say what I think." And I was like, damn, no scripts, no planning, no nothing. Just literally, and I said, and we asked her also, are you creating backgrounds? Are you going to any interesting areas? Nope. I'm just holding up the camera wherever the hell I am and speaking from the heart. And I was like, damn, that speaks volumes, right? So if you guys can learn how to do that in this beta, it's going to change your life dramatically. And that's part of what I want this beta for you too, is that you learn how to be on video. And in this beta, I want to teach you how to be on video and how to do that, because that's what's going to separate us from a lot of the other loan officers out there that aren't on video. Realtors too. You can teach this to realtors, it'll change their life dramatically, okay? So short video, really, really important. Next thing, long video. You guys see any of my goofy long videos out there? Let me tell you this, the behind the scenes of what we're doing. We're just taking Keeping Current Matters or any other blog post on earth that you've seen, like findmywayhome.com, or there's Insta Mortgage creates amazing blog post, as Tito knows. There's tons of blog posts out there that are already done for you that are amazing, right? We just take those blog posts, rewrite them a little bit, and put them into a system and turn it into a video. We can do that for you too in this beta, where you guys say, okay, here's the blog post I want to put up this week, Keith. Then we take that, we put the keywords in it, we put all the hashtags in it, we put it on YouTube, we put it on LinkedIn, we put it on Google My Business, and we put it out to the world, okay? This puts you in SEO really, really well. Now back to the short videos real quick, because I had another thought. TikTok is changing dramatically, guys, and we're going to dive into that in this beta. TikTok is turning into YouTube. YouTube is based on SEO and search. TikTok is trying to do the exact same thing. So they want it in the future where if you need something, if you need to learn something, you're going to type it into TikTok just like you do on YouTube for it to pop up. So homes for sale in Franklin, Tennessee, they want that to pop up just like it does on YouTube right now. Think about the opportunity there, guys. Like I've got a course that I'm going to share with you guys that was on YouTube that realtors used to build these gigantic YouTube channels with all the SEO, but they had to put hours of time in the content. Now you just put in 2 minutes of time in the content and boom, you could do the same thing that they did on YouTube. So long videos, back to long videos, this is just long form content that people will absorb. Now, let me ask you a question in the chat. If my clients come in as leads and I send them to these different videos and they watch them and they start binging my content, are they gonna work with me over another loan officer most of the time? Let me know the answer in the chat. Yeah. So you're becoming a trusted advisor because they're consuming your content all the time. Okay. So that's the secret of long form content. You get them in with short form content, then they want to know more. Well, damn, Keith, I am self-employed. What does that mean? Watch my freaking video here on YouTube, right? Now I'll go deeper with this. I think we're going to need to have a video for every single thing that we do in our industry at some point that people can go back and learn. And as you start thinking of those and they're popping up more and more, make a video about it, right? Student loans. There's so many different ways to look at student loans now. You could make that an entire video. What else has just been very recent? MBS, reading MBS charts, understanding MBS charts, all possible videos. And this is why we create those videos, because we don't have to do it. We don't have to do that stuff. We just go get a great blog post and give it to the team and they'll go turn it into a piece of content for you. Okay, so images, guys. I don't know, what I do all day long is search different groups and platforms and stuff for funny images, and then I upload them, I put my branding on them, I give them to the virtuals and they post them. This is a real easy thing for us to do. So we go find the images, we give it to the virtual assistants, the virtuals brand it to us, and Wade is a freaking beast at this if he's not on. If Wade is on, he does this all the time. I see constantly emails coming in. Hey, take this image, pull this out and put my stuff in and post it. It's constant, okay? And he's always doing that. And then we're gonna post these all over the different platforms for you to get engagement and stuff like that, okay? You can also geotag these images, put them on Google. You can, we can build them in Canva. I made one the other day. I just opened up Canva and it was, we had really good weekend for Tennessee football. So I just went and grabbed all 3 logos of the Tennessee teams, put them in a Canva thing, and then exported it, sent it to the virtuals to post Monday morning for Sunday or for the football from the weekend. Simple, like really, really easy, guys. All I had to do is go create it and hand it off to the virtuals and they post it. So polls or questions or polls, okay? This is something I think that's really highly overlooked. This is where the engagement comes in. When I did this pre-check, clear, or both, this was coming back from an actual experience that I had in Denver. I was coming back in Denver and I had to get on a plane at like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't plan ahead, right? And I come in the airport and the damn line is wrapped around the building like almost twice. It was crazy. Never seen anything like it in my life. So I sat there and I was like, okay, I'm sitting in line and I'm dealing with this. What do I do? I come up with an idea. So the idea is, do you have pre-check, clear, both, or none of them? And I posted this on Facebook and it got something like 83 responses. And I went through each one of them and responded back to them. What does that do? That pushes my edge rank up. So the next thing that comes out is going to be seen a lot more. So this is things that we can also automate also. Come up with an idea, put it in a list somewhere and use it in the future. Another one I was going to do this week is if you got all my business owners out there, do you create SOPs? And if you do, where do you put them? Right now, that's going to zero into a certain market, but I want to know, like, okay, are there SOPs in Word? Are there SOPs and by the way, that's standard operating procedures. If you guys don't know, we'll talk about that later, but we're going to build SOPs for all this stuff we do this time to show you exactly how to create all this stuff on a daily basis. And then we go post it for you. Interviews. Oh my God, this was a huge epiphany for me this year. And I'll tell you, it wouldn't have come about if the rates wouldn't have gone up. I would have never started doing this because when the rates went up, I had to start thinking, okay, how do I get in with more realtors? Because my existing realtors are going to fail or disappear, right? So the answer is interviews. Here's where I learned this from. Adam Smith does a weekly, like a podcast type YouTube show, right? It's called How I Met Your Mortgage. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. Have any of you guys seen it? How I Met Your Mortgage, right? Tell me if you've seen it, let me know in the chat. Okay, cool. So How I Met Your Mortgage, guys, is go find it online. It's brilliant, but it's boring as hell. But when you understand the philosophy behind it, it's brilliant, okay? How I Met Your Mortgage is only a show that interviews realtors or top producers in another area like financial planners or CPA. Can you understand, like, does it make sense why he would do that? Is he doing that to grow his, like, viewership on a podcast or anything? Nope. He's doing it because the agent that goes on looks at him at a different level, right? So they look at him like, okay, this guy interviewed me. He really cares about my business and wants me to succeed, which he does. He absolutely does, okay? But they look at him differently as a business partner. So when I heard about this, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool, but why do I have to do it on a weekly basis? Why does it matter, right? Like, why do I have to put all that time in that damn show and do it every single week at the exact same time? I don't. I just set up an interview, have the realtor on, interview them, pass it off to the virtuals. The virtuals go make a bunch of badass content out of it and post it all over the place. And not only does she look good, but I look good, and it just gives me content to post. So interviews are something we're going to be diving into dramatically because it's working like crazy. The story on this one is this lady is a team leader for EXP. And I met her, actually the virtual set up the appointment online, and I did a discovery call with her on the phone. And after the discovery call, I did not sell. I just asked her about her business. That's it. Nothing else. And literally at the very end of the discovery call, she said, I hope we can work together in the future. And right there on the spot, I was like, you know what? I would love to interview you because I love the way you run your team. And I think it's unique. And I think you are going to get to your 108 closed transactions this year that you've set out to do. And she said, oh my God, I would love that. So I said, I had never used Riverside before. And I went and bought Riverside, set up this interview and interviewed her for like 20 minutes. Okay. And she instantly sent me about 40 transactions. I'm not exaggerating, 40 transactions after that interview. Now, there's a couple other things I did too. Like I set her up on Listing Booster, List Reports. I made things pretty, HomeBot, stuff like that. That's other stuff that we'll talk about in here in the beta. But more importantly, that interview was the catalyst that really set off our relationship. So we're going to go into interviews dramatically, okay? Course modules. Now, this could be cleaning up your credit. This could be realtors learning any of this stuff that we're going through, video, whatever. You guys are going to become masters at creating simple course modules, okay? Now, here's the thing. Once you create the course module, is it up to you anymore to like go put it in this beautiful site and create a course out of it? Nope. Your job is to create the content and then we'll go build the course for you. So this is a funny story, but my son is getting into internet marketing, okay? And recently he's been like really diving into it. And they had this platform that they sent out, and I bought him this monthly thing where he learns internet marketing and he's on this website and he's learning it. And it's so different than anything I've seen before. And it really started me to thinking. So here's the difference. You guys remember in the past, we buy these courses and they're in these beautiful websites, right? So they go into Kajabi or whatever it is, and we click on these and we see these videos, and then we go to this next video and we got this nice download and all this stuff. His is completely different. It's links inside of a secure server and they can all talk to each other. It's badass. It's like if you had it inside of Facebook, and you could all talk to each other. And more importantly, you can reach out and help each other and stuff like that. But there were no like beautiful module pages. It was just like step 1, click here. Step 2, click here to download this. Step 3, click here to download this. And I realized right then, and by the way, this guy is being paid like $50 a month, and there's 250,000 people paying him $50 a month. I was like, holy shit. Right? So this is a whole different paradigm shift of what we're used to. And that's what's going to happen in the future. So if you guys will just create these course modules, you're going to find a way to use them in the future. And then you just give them to us and we get them into some kind of a platform that you can teach in the future. Podcasts. So podcasts are becoming gigantic, as you guys know, but there's a lot that goes into a podcast. But what is our job in the podcast? To record the podcast. That's it. Think about it. That's it. Everything else is online. It can be done. Content is our job in the podcast, and that's it. Come up with the content. You could do your interviews to your agents. One of the things I'm going to do in a podcast in the future is ways to help realtors or financial planners or whatever change their process with technology, virtual assistants, AI, stuff like that, right? Why? Because that's my target market, you see? So podcasts will become, you shoot your podcast on a good audio, you give it to us, and we go do the rest, okay? That's what I want to work on in the beta as well. Okay, so those are the platforms. Now, there's a couple of others also that we'll go through, but those are the platforms that you guys are going to learn and do on a daily basis. Do you think if all your job was to do those on a daily basis, you could do it? Like if that was it, like I don't have to worry about how beautiful it looks. All I have to do is shoot a video from the heart once a day. And I give it to Keith and Keith makes it blow up in the world. Could you guys do that? Could you actually do that? Give me a yes or a no in the chat. All you have to do is shoot a video. Get out of your head. Give me the video and I'll blow it up to the world. Yeah. Okay. This is what's going to set us apart from the people that are out there right now. And once we do that, now we can take it, we can retarget it, and we could put it in front of every real estate agent in all the cities that we're doing business with. You could put it in front of HomeBot people. You can put it in front of all your past database, your current database. You can retarget with it. All you have to do is create the content. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how you're going to do this, okay? So first of all, your business page becomes really important. Your business page is where your ads go out, okay? So the content that you're going to create, if you like it when it comes back and we edit it, I want you to put it on your Facebook business page and get it out to the world. And we'll talk about how to do that in the beta. So cover pictures, we got to have the cover picture set up. I'm going to kind of jump through this because we're losing a little bit of time. I really want to get into the meat and potatoes of this. And the video file is what we really do that sets us apart. We're going to make sure that we have a good title on the actual video file. So let's say you shoot the video and you give it to the virtuals. That needs to be cleaned of all your information, and it needs to be set up for the platform that's going to be put on. Okay. So if it's going to be put on Google My Business, it needs to be geotagged for that area. Okay. And it also, we need to find the tags that are associated with that area and a good description, and get all that inside of the video description and on the page for the video, depending on where we put it. So where could we put a video file? It could go on Google My Business. It could go on Pinterest. It could go on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. There's so many places a video could go. So once we've created it, we want to send it out to the masses. So let's say you create that one video for me, you send it to me, we edit it, we put in B-roll in it, make it look pretty, we put in the captions, we send it back to you to say yay or nay, and then we're going to put it on all these different places, right? We're going to put it on Instagram, we're going to put it on Google My Business, Pinterest, Twitter, all these places we're going to get it on, but we're going to get it on the right way, okay? Now, YouTube Shorts, regular YouTube, we want to get all these videos uploaded to that. But more importantly, we want a really good thumbnail, so that thumbnail really catches the attention of the person that's scrolling on YouTube. The thumbnail is actually one of the most important parts of posting on YouTube. So where can we also put this? We could put it on your buy-sell groups. We can put it on your private groups. We could put it on your realtor groups. We could put it into your stories. We could put links from your stories back to the other places. There's so many things I want to dive into on this beta that you guys are going to need, and you're going to tell me what you want as we go through it, okay? LinkedIn. So all of these different ways we're going to get it uploaded into social in the correct parameter. And I want to know like exactly what's working, what's not working. So I want you guys to be, giving me a lot of feedback. Is it working? Are we getting business off of it? Are we getting engagement? Which ones seem to be the best for the different platforms and stuff like that, okay? Now, I think right now we're seeing a dramatic change in blogs, right? We're seeing people kind of go back to using their blogs and their sites. And I think our sites need to have much more content on them than they did in the past. So video, blog posts, long form video, short form video. Think about it. You have no limit to what you can put on your site. It's your site, right? So you can put that all over your site and use that whenever you want. Now your client goes to your site instead of freaking Facebook or something like that. And they're like, oh my God, he's got over 500 pieces of content on his site. This guy knows what the hell he's talking about. That's something else I want to dive into in the beta. And we're going to go pretty deep in this as to how do you put content, what sites are you using, stuff like that, because it's really important that we go back to using our sites. Your website should be your #1 lead generator, right? So the more content you have on it, the more people are apt to click that little button that says apply now. That's coming from the content that's on your site, and most of us haven't been building any content. This is a great question for everybody on here. Who has content on their actual website that's uploaded even in a weekly basis? Mortgage, we're talking about mortgage sites, right? No. So think about this. Why? Why? Why aren't you uploading content? So the reason you're not uploading content is because it doesn't make your company any money, right? It doesn't make your company any money. Are your companies teaching you how to do content and put it on your site? Nope. Why? Because they own your people. They don't want you to do that. But that's what we should have been doing all along. Go back. Okay, let's go back 10 years ago and say we would have started building even blog posts on our site. Look at some of the people that have done this, like Scott Shang, or who else? Even Shashank. The people that have been creating content over time have built these gigantic ecosystems of content on their sites, right? That's what we have to go back to. And that's what's going to drive more content, more people for us. Okay. So everything is a process, right? So I also want to make sure that we're building all of this stuff out as a process as we go along. So if it's LinkedIn, I want to process. If it's Instagram, I want to process. Google My Business, I want to process for creating the content and also posting it that we will edit over time and make better. Okay. So timing is so important. There are times during the week where each social platform will engage better than anything else. So why wouldn't we post on those, right? That's what virtuals allow you to do. You can post based on the right time. You just give them the content, they edit it, you sign off on it, they go post it at the right time, okay? So timing is really important. Okay, has this been helpful? Let me know in the chat if this has been helpful. I'm going to go around the room and talk to people right now, hopefully. Let's see. I'm going to unmute everybody. Okay. If you're not unmuted, unmute yourself, okay? All right, I'm going to start with, let's see, who should I pick on? Joe, can you hear me? All right, I'll start with you, Wooly.
Bring it on, let's do it.
Right.
And
tell me what you think about this. Be completely transparent and honest. I want to do this beta. I think this is going to set us apart. We need to be creating more content on a daily basis, but it needs to be really freaking simple. What do you think about this? Oh, you're muted, brother.
I thought I unmuted it whenever you said you were going to start with me. Well, this is something you and I have talked about for almost a decade now. And with technology evolving, I mean, I think it's extremely important. I think it's easier than our minds allow for. You know, like for me, I use the excuse of having 7 kids, and we've had like 3 sick kids lately, and trying to build a business, and everything just gets in the way. Even though, like for me, doing video and content, like it's one of the most comfortable things, one of the things I'm most comfortable with, and I still don't do it.
So,
you know,
yeah. So honestly, this is how crazy it is, guys. Watch TikTok. Everything has changed. He could literally do a video right now with his baby in his hand, and the damn thing would probably do way better than if he was on a freaking background with a suit on, okay? Because that's how video has evolved and changed. So he does a video, he's got the baby in his hand, he talks about something that's passionate, maybe about veterans or something. He gives it to me. Now, where am I going to go put it? I'm going to go put it in the right places at the right time for him to get him engagement. Okay. So
and I think something, you may have mentioned it. I've been in and out, man. I apologize. But like,
sorry.
I think too, one of the biggest things is just like you were mentioning, like whoever was doing the video just straight from the desk, like I love no script. I'm better with no script.
Yeah.
And the feedback over the years is that people love that because it's relatable and people want to trust you. And the way that you build trust in sales today is completely different than what it was 5 years ago, 15 years ago.
Absolutely.
It's all about building trust within all the noise.
Yeah.
And, being real like this maybe is more relatable than anything, as long as, again, the content's relevant. So
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's changed. Like when I saw that with my son, I realized there's this paradigm shift where people don't care about where the content is coming on from, right? They just want the knowledge. It's the knowledge that people want. So if he gave me right now, if he started talking about veterans and how, the myths or whatever with veterans, and it was a good, impactful message, it doesn't matter whatever's going around him. I'm going to zero in on that message, right? And that's what's important. Okay, I'm going to run on to somebody else. Tito.
Talk to me, brother.
All right. So you and I have talked about this at length before. Tell me about, like, if you could do a video without being in your head, without worrying about, anything, what would you shoot like tomorrow morning? What would you talk about right now?
Probably the market or what to expect. Yeah. What's happening in the market and what to expect in the market. Something relevant.
Yeah. Relevant and timely, right?
Right.
And then I think the hang up we get, Diana said that she doesn't like the way she looks on video, right? And the thing is, like, we're around our family all the time like this. Look at me. I have a face for radio, right? We're around our family like this all the time. We cut up with them, we joke with them, we smile, we laugh. It's no different. You're just sharing that with the world. I took this class and it was really interesting about that, like how to get over your fear of being on camera. And they said something really funny about it. They were saying, like, a lot of us get in our heads and think about, like, somebody on social isn't going to like us, right? There's some subset of people on social that aren't going to like us. But when you really think about that and you break that down and you write down, okay, who is that subset person on social that's not going to like us? I'll be very transparent and honest with you. I went to a private school as a kid and I was poor. My family was poor, right? And I never really fit in with those guys, I felt, because I didn't have as much money. Now I do now, more than I do now, but I didn't fit in with them back then. And I always felt like they were better than me, right? So when I started doing social, and then we dug into this deep, but I wrote down on that piece of paper, I wrote down, Ezel Harding is not going to like what I say. And I took that and I ripped it up and symbolically said, I don't give a damn what these people think. They're irrelevant, right? What percentage of Ezel Harding people are in my social sphere of 5,000 or 10,000 or 20,000? It's like 10, it's not even, it's like 0.010%, right? I don't give a fuck what they think. So think about that. Like, we're being stopped from putting our message out because we're worried about what we look like and what we sound like, when this is who we just legitimately sound like. Okay. So good information, dude. Let me keep going because I've got like 10 minutes left. Diana, I'm going to unmute you.
Yes.
Okay. So how do you feel now after we've talked about this? Are you still scared to death to be on camera? Be transparent, be honest. Like, what's holding you back? Because you're a beast. She's a beast, by the way. This lady, she is a freaking beast, okay? She's amazing. I've watched you grow even from using the virtuals. It's been amazing. But tell me, like, where are you now in your mindset on this?
I'm still a little nervous, but I forgot. Harpeet's been making me do it. I didn't realize he was grooming me for this.
Yeah.
I was on a way. I know we got 10 minutes, so I'll make this 30 seconds. I won an award. He gave me a challenge. He said, just tape everything, even if it doesn't make sense. Just tape, snippets of it, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw it, Keith. It's the one with me in the yellow dress. I even did something while I was driving in the car, like everybody does.
Yeah.
And I think I got like 500 views last week or something.
Yeah.
And it was just off the cuff, me being goofy. I even accidentally had my phone on because I'm not real technical.
Yeah.
And I shot something, like I shot 30 seconds in the room or something, didn't realize my phone was on.
Yeah.
But they just, your virtuals had me upload everything. And somehow they were able to take that, slow motion it, and make it really look really cool in my little video. So
Yeah. Yeah. So that's awesome. One thing I was thinking about it, and when I went through that course I was telling you about, they said that we all have, or this lady, this brilliant lady, and if you guys want to take the course, I would highly suggest it for video. And I'll give it to you later, just message me. But she said that we all have different entertainment styles. Okay. So I'm an Excite, a Mirror, and a Lift. Now that doesn't mean anything to you guys right now, but I'll give you a breakdown of what that is. If I'm my real self, I'm excited, right? That's me, right? I'm excited. If I'm not my real self, I'm like this. I'm like, okay, so today we're going to talk about, do you guys hear the difference? Okay, so this is not me. This is me, right? I'm excited. You guys know, the ones that actually know me, that have talked to me on the phone, that's the real me. It's goofy. It's weird. It is who I am, right? That Excite is who I am. The Mirror is me mirroring other people. I was watching somebody on a stand-up the other night, and they were by far a mirror. It was it was Joe Coy. You guys ever seen Joe Coy stand up? Anybody? You guys seen? Okay, I'm sure some of you have, but Joe Coy is a perfect mirror. Everything he does in his stand-up, he's mirroring, he's telling you the story in the eyes of somebody else, right? And that's me. If I don't mirror when I'm telling stories, it doesn't sound right. It's like, well, what? If I'm leading, if I'm telling you what to do, you're all like, oh gosh, it sounds painful. It's because I'm not being who I am. And if you just be who you are in these videos, it's going to come across and blow up just like Diana's did. Okay. All right. So who's next? Who else we got on here? Aaron.
Hey, bud, I have no idea why my camera's not working, man.
Okay, that's okay.
Here we are talking about videos, and for some reason my camera's not
And
working.
listen, I would say Aaron's probably one of the most prolific on here of doing videos. He does quite a bit of videos, don't you?
I do. You know, it's I've always enjoyed doing it. My big hang up has been why I haven't done more is the technical side of it, not knowing how to edit stuff or things like that, and it takes time, you know. So I think this is awesome, and Harpeet and them have already been doing a great job. I've been slamming them, and they're turning stuff around, you know, pretty quickly, doing a good job. So
we want to take that to the next level and build that the right way. And listen, the beta is going to create what needs to happen in the future. I'm going to start it. I'm going to say, okay, let's make it easy and upload everything to Google like I did. And on Google, you know, the virtuals will go grab it, they'll edit it, they'll send it back to you, and you'll sign off on it. And then once you sign off on it, it's posted on everywhere you want. But I want you guys to understand this beta is for us to determine what the process needs to be for you to make a lot of money, right? So whatever that process is, give me feedback to it. I know what we've been doing so far with Aaron and stuff, and it's working. I know it's working. I'm seeing the engagement and stuff on his videos. And what's funny is the virtuals are learning more and more as I teach them and as we give them courses to get better and better and better. And that's what's happening, and that's what's going to happen. Okay. So great feedback, Aaron. I'm glad to have you on board. Joe,
thanks for
you're
having me,
next.
buddy. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. Joe, you're next. Joe may be busy. All right, let's go down to Nicholas. Can you hear me?
Are you there?
No, it looks like Joe is still
Oh, Joe's
muted.
back. Okay.
Okay.
Joe.
Sorry about that.
Don't worry about it.
So this is pretty interesting because the timing of all this, because I've been, I started talking to a virtual assistant, getting an editing guy, to start all this kind of getting videos out, you know,
Yeah.
doing a lot more social media.
Yeah.
And I was, you know, going to start at one video a week, but it'll just be like a couple of platforms, Facebook, Instagram. And what's held me back is really the technical side. It's just like, it's daunting to me that you're going to be putting in it, maybe not 9 channels, 9 platforms.
Yeah.
Content was always what's held me back, but I have a place where I could get content from with all the permissions to, to swipe a user, just make it, my own, style.
Yeah.
Right? So, but that's what's held me back is the technical aspect of putting all this on all these platforms, and the content, where do I grab content? So
one thing I want to do too is, as we build out these SOPs and these processes for you guys, I want to really focus on what we're supposed to do, not what the virtuals are supposed to do, right? So if we need hooks in our videos, I want to give you guys 50 to 100 hooks you can use that work right now. Or if we need copy, let's use copy systems to build that copy, or let's just go copy somebody else that's done it. If we get really good at what we're supposed to do, and then we pass it off to somebody like Harpreet, it's going to blow up. But really what we should be focusing on, and this, nobody really has ever done this, I don't think, is really said, okay, here's how you create content. Here's how you create a process and SOP for content, and you need to be doing it on a daily basis. And that's what I really want to focus on in the beta, is like not just putting the content out, but what do we do to get in our minds to create the content every day? Because I can see a time, guys, where we wake up in the morning before we get hit with all the insanity of MBS and all this crap, we're focused and just bang out our content from like 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock or whatever. And then we're done. We pass it off and it goes out to the virtuals, and then they put it on all the retargeting lists and they just send it out to the world. And then we just go do it again the next morning. That's my vision for this and what I want. So good feedback, Joe. And I'm glad you're here. David.
Yes, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, so I'm a big believer in it. I've already been doing it for a few months, but only on Instagram. A little bit of TikTok, but on Instagram, I mean, it's good. I got a couple thousand views per each reel. I haven't gotten direct leads off it, but I get more brand awareness when I call, prospecting realtors in my area. More people know who I am, which has led to, meetings with more realtors, which has then turned into more leads that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll get people that DM me, but normally the leads aren't that great yet. But again, I'm only doing one platform when you're saying 8 or 9. So that's where I could see that it could definitely be more beneficial towards me, kind of just expanding to those other platforms.
Absolutely. And let me ask you a question. Do you have a Google My Business account?
Like a Google review page?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Cool. Are you putting any of that content on GMB?
I didn't even know you could do that, honestly.
You can. So you could do it 2 ways. You could put it on as a post, an image, or lately, and this is what I learned in Denver, and we're gonna go through all this, guys, in the beta, but I learned in Denver, you can actually make things as an event. So if you make it as an event, it has a time delay and it shows up on more pages if you make it an event, and we'll go over that later. But I'm seeing with Google My Business, if you set it up right, I'm seeing like 2, 3, 4 calls in a day, right? And now this is hard to do, but once you start getting that content on Google My Business has almost become like a social, kind of like another platform that most of our loan officer friends aren't using. So it's a real good one to focus on. And that's where we'll take that content and upload it for you too. So
you
great
can do videos
feedback.
on there as well? Can you do videos or just
sure
post
can.
them?
Yeah, you can put videos on there. You can do keywords. You can do geo-tagging the videos. There's so much you can do on GMB for sure. And what is your content based on?
So honestly, just copying other people. I follow Neil Home a lot. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've seen him on Instagram.
Yeah.
So he has a community. They don't edit for you. They don't post by any means. They just have like masterminds. They just talk about like scripts. And I just see other people post the same video, and I kind of just get the topic and kind of make it my own.
Okay.
Put my own spin on it. So I
Okay.
just see what's kind of trending also on tags on Instagram. People talking about, how to buy a house with a 5% rate nowadays. Is that possible? Can you
Yep.
afford the average home in X county? And I'll just do it, according
Yep.
to myself.
And we'll go over answer the public and how to do the content and all that stuff. We'll do it at the beta. Guys, if you want to do the beta, I gotta go because we're a little over. Just message me on whatever social platform or in here. You can shoot it through the chat. Give me your name and phone number and email, and we'll make sure that you're invited to the beta. If you're already using us, all you got to do is email the team and tell them you want to do the beta. That's it. Okay. $12.50 an hour. Everything is exactly the same as it was. Fractional charges. I'm anticipating in the beta it'll probably be $300 to $500 to build a decent following, which is pretty damn cheap compared to what everything is out there too. And we're going to figure that out in the beta, exactly what the costs are, but it's $12.50 an hour is billed out. Okay. That's it. Any other questions for you guys before I go? See.
No, thank you.
You're so welcome. And I
Thank
was
you.
going to go through all this. I didn't have time, but here's the list of everything we're going to do. It's gigantic. Okay. It's like insane. It's tons and tons of tasks we're going to go through and build out and everything. But let me know if you guys want to do it and we'll get it set up. Okay.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.